What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. Today I actually have a couple topics that I want to go over, one being eBay app features, and the other is an announcement that I want to make about something that I started, so I'm hoping you guys would be a part of it. And then finally, I do want to give y'all a little one of my tricks that I use to source items that works out for me. It does involve some work, but it works out really good if you just put the work in. All right, so let's get started. One of the things that I've been wanting to do before I get started talking about that other stuff is I want to take these racks out. I want to get rid of these, and I feel like I can definitely, I want to put more shelves in. So I'm thinking like at least 2 more rows of shelving. I can get at least 2 more rows in the place of these racks. They're like big and clunky and in my way, and I really don't have them that organized. I got them organized enough that I can put stuff on them, especially when I got higher quantity. Because like, as you can see, this is all stuff that I have like higher quantities of that just really won't go, you know, it ain't made for the boxes that I got on the shelves. And what I want to do is just like put 2 more rows. So that would be at least 4 more sets of shelves. I don't know if I kind of been thinking about these shelves. These are those cheaper plastic shelves. I guess they work fine for what I'm using them for. I want to get metal shelves or stronger shelves, but they cost so much, man. I don't know how I would do that. I'll probably have to like, you know, buy some, then maybe sell off these as I buy them or something. But I put 4 more rows of shelves. That gives me more space. But the reason I'm thinking about putting more shelves is I know I'm going to be adding other types of inventory, some larger types of items, okay? And so those shelves will be mostly used for the larger items. But I'm also debating, as much as I hate selling clothes, adding some clothes. Now, I know in the past I talked about how much I hate listing clothes, and I do. I really do. I don't like it. But what I was thinking to myself was I would have some parameters set first, right? 1, they would have to have at least a 50% sell-through rate, right? And then 2, it would be no more than 2 to 500 items of clothes, which I can fit that. That shouldn't take up that much space, especially using the same inventory system that they use over in the like Daily Refinement group. I really like that system. So I think with that system, 2 to 500 items won't take up a lot of space. And then a minimum 50% sell-through, only men's. I'm not really trying to deal with women's clothing. So only men's clothing. And I wouldn't care if it was jeans or shirt or pants or whatever. And maybe even some sneakers. I don't know. But either way, I'm definitely leaning toward getting more bigger items. Maybe electronics, small appliances, and also towards clothes. I'm not sure. I know for sure I'm going to do the electronic thing and the smaller appliance thing. Still debating about the clothing thing. I do know for certain though, if I do clothes, it's going to have to be 50% sell-through minimum, and it's definitely 2 to 500 might be high. I might be high. I'm especially the 500 part. I'm maybe more like 1 or 200. I don't know. It just depends, man. That was just a thought. It's just like one of those things, you know, you're thinking about different things you can do, which direction you want your store to go in, how you can recession-proof your store, things like that, right? It's just coming up with some ideas, but I do know I want to add more items with a higher average sell price, but they still have a pretty good sell-through. Electronics, for the most part, definitely, depending on what they are, of course, have a higher sell-through, and lots of different types of smaller appliances do as well. So if I can get rid of those racks, those, of course, and put more shelving in, that'll help me do that. And plus, I just don't like that setup, honestly. It's just, I don't like it, man. But that's one of the things I was thinking I would have to, and then again, if I did close, then I got to change up my photo stuff, my photo setup, right? Because all I got to set up for now is small items, smaller hard goods. So I don't know. That's something you got to think about, right? Like, I'm not even set up for clothes at this point. So I don't know. I'll figure that part out. That's just something that's stewing in the pot, right? But the other thing with the larger, smaller appliances and electronics, that's something that's going to happen for sure as soon as I find some inventory that I'm willing to kind of buy and sell, okay? But to the topics, that I started off with, right? One, and I'll say it now, is I started the group, guys. I started a group. It's called Hustle and Grow Mastermind Group. And the reason I didn't make it like the usual like reseller group and things like that is because honestly, one, I want more than just resellers to join a group, for one. So if you're listening to this video, and I'm going to be putting this a little promo on all the videos because I want people to join, but you're listening to this video and you're not, maybe you're not really interested in reselling or whatever, please join the group. I want all types of business experience to participate. Let me see if I can go there real quick. Yeah, this is just the front page of it. Okay, I got it marked as private. Basically, you just got to join. That's that, right? And also, and that link is right here on my banner. And also on my banner is a new Instagram page that I started, and I took off my personal page, and I just got this. Just really got this little photo. But I want everything to kind of be like seamless as far as like the channel, the branding, and all of that. You guys might hear the band playing. They got a practice going on, so pardon the noise. But as far as the group go, there's a few things that I do want you guys to be aware of, right? This isn't going to be your typical reseller group where you just come and kind of, maybe post your daily solds and cry and complain about eBay or Amazon or whatever, things like that, right? That's not what I'm going for here. It's called a mastermind group for a reason. And so this is going to be a solution-based group, right? Solution-oriented. And here's what I'm asking anybody that joins. I want people to join. Please join. Especially those of you who say that like you don't want to pay other resellers for groups. Not that there's nothing wrong with that. I always got to add that. But because that expertise is needed, right? So here's the point of the group anyway. You join a group to find solutions to what you got going on in your business. Now, yes, this is reselling because I'm reselling right now. But even if you're not in reselling, there's going to be things that I'm going to begin to start in that group to mastermind as far as like other types of businesses. But let's just stick right now specifically to reselling. So when you join a group, you're joining the group with the idea of finding solutions, okay? Not of complaining, not of talking down eBay and Amazon or Walmart or whoever or whatever. Nothing like that, right? If a person asks a question, and look, I'm gonna hit you with the Planet Fitness thing, the judgment-free zone. You can ask any question you want. I don't care how stupid you might think it sound, how obvious the answer might seem. There ain't gonna be none of that, right? Ask any question you want, and the question will be answered, even if it was asked 100 times. Here's what I would implore is that as the group would grow, which hopefully it does grow, that you would use the search function first to search for answers, but no one is going to answer like in a smart ass with a smart remark, right? And so I would say for all members that would be joining is if you can't provide an answer to a person's questions or you don't want to, no matter how it may sound, just don't answer it. Just don't answer it. I don't want people to be afraid to ask questions to grow. This is the point of the group. It's called the Hustle and Grow Mastermind Group because not only are we hustlers, right? We're trying to hustle, we're trying to make money as a side hustle, as a full-time reseller, whatever it may be, but we want to grow and we want to help each other grow. And so that's the main, I guess what you would say was the mission, right? Is to help each other grow. And so I don't care if a person say, hey man, how do I run a sale on eBay, right? That's a pretty frequent question that sellers might ask. And and I've seen answers to that question in other groups where they're like, well, search it. It's been asked 1,000 times. And we ain't doing that. We ain't doing that. If you don't want to answer it, don't answer it. But if you do want to answer the question, then and that's just one example. But the main point of what I'm trying to say is don't be afraid to ask your questions because you will get a helpful answer. And for those who will answer the questions, make sure that your answer is helpful. Please and thank you. Okay? Also, element, and I'm trying to balance this out because there's nothing that I'm charging for as far as time goes, but I also want to add value and I want people to be able to get value from it. As of right now, I'm thinking using Zoom because I know Zoom, you can do up to 40 minutes for free on Zoom calls. I'm thinking right now maybe 2 half-hour calls a week, right? The one call might be specifically, I don't know if I'm gonna do specifically eBay and specifically Amazon, right? You don't have to just be an eBay seller. So I sell on eBay, Amazon, and Walmart, and I've been selling on them all for years. So I got a good amount of knowledge of how to navigate each of those platforms. Well, except Walmart. I just started selling on Walmart end of last year, but I got a lot of experience on there as well. But when it comes to eBay and Amazon, I do. But it ain't even just me. Like, I want people who have experience on these platforms to join as well and to offer up your advice and your experience, because there are some problems that I might not have an answer to, and somebody else can provide those answers. Okay, but I'm thinking maybe a half-hour call discussing eBay things, maybe issues, how to make your store better, just things like that. Masterminding, different solutions to different problems, trying to figure out where we're at right now in our businesses and how we can get further on down the line, dealing with issues with Amazon, and then that would be the other call for the week. And then, but I was also thinking I wanted to do like just a general mastermind call where we just kind of kick ideas around, business ideas, because not everybody wants to resell, or some people get started in reselling but want to do something else. But I think to keep it simple, I'm gonna just start off with reselling and kind of see if it can grow from there and where it might go from there. So first I gotta get somebody in the group. So as far as the calls go, we're going to kind of wait till we get a couple people in the group. We don't got to have a crap ton of people in there, but at least get a few people in there so that we can have a couple people and we talking to each other on there. Store reviews, right? I know this might, for some of y'all who've been doing this might be one of those things like, I don't have a, listen, store reviews are important. And I'm not charging for no store reviews. So as a member of the group, all you got to do is ask me to do one of your store reviews and I'll check your store out. We can talk about your store and I'll give you some pointers, okay? It can be either in a group, I can give you the pointers, it can be in an email. I would kind of rather do it in a way where I would probably make a short video and send it to you, because I feel like just sitting and talking that way, or maybe a FaceTime, I don't know. I don't really want to do a lot. I don't want to be spending a lot of time typing and writing back and forth and emailing. That's going to take too much time. But I think video responses, email, I don't know, Duo on Gmail, something like that might be, where you can just talk real quick and go over stuff. But I'm not going to get like too involved with all the solutions and how to do it. I'm not going to be spending a lot of time because I just can't, right? I just can't, especially I'm doing all of this stuff for free. But I want to help. So if you want a store review, once you're in a group, all you got to do is let me know. And then we'll talk about that, and I'll check out your store, check out what you got going on, and give you some ideas and pointers, right? I do got a lot of ideas about some other stuff going forward. My main thing is this: not only to help you as a reseller, but to help you as a businessman or woman, as a business person, to start understanding like the business aspect of this, industry of reselling. And it might seem obvious to some, but you can tell by a lot of people's comments and on YouTube, a lot of people's comments in the groups, people don't have that grasp of business, like how to run a business. And I think that in part is what leads to people struggling and eventually failing at this, is not understanding not understanding some basic things about your numbers and just things like systems and how to run your systems. That'll be another thing, if you come to the group and you post like your work area, your shipping process, whatever process you got going on, like I want to be able to help you make those things better, to get faster at shipping and better at it, to get better at storing your items, all of that, to be able to look at your processes, break them down and get better. Also, Facebook got lives and you can go live in a group. So we can do lives in a group where we can just kind of kick around stuff, or if we got some issues, people having issues on certain platforms, we can kind of talk about it on there. But this is in its infancies, Genesis. I implore you, join the group. Let's see where we go with it. I want it to be helpful for everybody, and I want it to be helpful for myself. I want to be able to learn from it too, because usually when you teach or when you help others, you usually learn something yourself, right? So click the link up in my banner on my YouTube channel. go to the group, put in to join the group. I'll accept it. Just no BS, man. I'm not with the BS. I'm not with putting people down. It's all about helping and lifting one another up. And that's it. If you ain't, and as my mom and grandma used to say, if you ain't got nothing good to say, then don't say it at all. Please. Please and thank you. All right. Now, moving on from that, other thing I wanted to talk about was this. I don't know how long this been on the app, but I just noticed today that eBay made it to where you can do volume pricing and schedule listings. Now look, this ain't no like huge addition or nothing. I'm not saying like this is this big thing. But look, I'm gonna take you over to my phone real quick, and for those of you who haven't noticed it or haven't seen it, I'm gonna just show you what I'm talking about real quick, okay? So here's a listing draft that I had just sitting in my draft bank. And if you scroll down and go to pricing and you click on pricing and then scroll down some more, you see the two where it says volume pricing and scheduled start time. So you can click on volume pricing, and if you want, you can add volume pricing. And then you can click on schedule start time, and if you want, you can schedule the date and the time, which that's, well, probably gotta schedule a date first. Hold on. Let's go to 8th and then a time. No, so it doesn't even. Or is it working? It's kind of light. I can barely see this on my phone. I can barely see that. Let me click OK. It came up, but as is the case with new features, there's issues. Like I can barely see these numbers and stuff, guys. But either way, that there is how you would both schedule a listing and or add volume pricing to a listing. All right, so yeah, I mean, look, I think this. Here's what I think. I know some people might be like, oh, this is good, this is great, you know, and then some people might be like, man, I ain't using it. And for obvious reasons, if you paid attention, I couldn't even really see the numbers and stuff. So, you know, typical stuff that happens when they add new features. I'm sure that'll get fixed. Here's what I think though. I don't got a negative thought about it. I think I understand in part. I haven't seen anything with eBay say why they doing it. But if it was me and I was the guest, my guess would be there are a lot of people who use only the app to list. You know, I think for those of us who use the desktop primarily to list, that we think these features on the app are like a waste of time and a waste of eBay's resources, right? But eBay's probably looking at it like, remember, eBay's in this thing to make money. And so they want more sellers to sell more stuff so they can make more money. And one of the ways you can get more sellers is to get more people access to be able to sell on eBay and use those features to list their items, right? Now, I don't know how far they're going to go with the features and you know, that you can use on an app as opposed to using the desktop. As is the case usually with apps, there are going to be some features they probably just can't add and you'll have to do it on the desktop. But for the most part, at this point, you can do just about everything, I think, except like if you're selling something used or something, you don't have that description box. But I mean, just thinking off the top of my head, with those two added features, that's pretty much everything, right? Because you can do promoted listings, you can do the volume pricing now, you can do you can schedule your listings, you can do everything, right? So think about it this way, like there's people that don't have a desktop. Maybe they don't have access to a desktop computer. Maybe all they have to use to list on to list on eBay is their phone. And so from that standpoint, and that point of view, that POV, it's understandable why eBay will be adding these features to the app, because they want to give those sellers you know, as many options as they can that mirror the options that we have using the desktop. So I think it's a good thing, especially for those sellers. It's a good thing, right? I still would double check all my listings. You can kind of create your listings on the app. It might be faster, and then maybe double check them on the desktop before you send them live, right? But I think it's a good thing. Let me know in the comments what you guys think and if you think it's a good thing or not, okay? All right, and then finally, for this video, I wanted to show you guys something that it's a little trick that I use. I guess maybe not a trick, just something that I use to source items off of eBay, okay? And I started doing this probably a while back, and it can take some time, but if you do it right and you recognize, you know, the type of buyers that you'll be kind of leveraging using this, you can find some really good sources on eBay without having to search for this and that, and like, you'll see what I mean. But I'm gonna just go ahead over to the computer and show you what I'm talking about. All right, so look, it starts off with this listing right here. So it starts off with this listing right here that I have, right? So somebody bought like, I don't know, 5 of these. And so one of the things I started doing, now this might not be for all of you guys that sell on eBay, but for like my store, even though it's smaller now because I've been taking items down and not listing as much, I still get a lot of multi-quantity orders, and pretty much I can tell people buy some of my stuff sometimes to resell, which I don't care. But so one of the things I started doing is this, right? So if I go to the buyer's name, okay, you go to the buyer's name, and then you go to the buyer's feedback. And then I'm gonna select all feedback. Now, one of the things you can do, now you can see if the buyer themselves or a seller or a seller as well as a buyer. Now, I go over here to left for others, feedback left for others. And then here's what you can look at, right? Now you can see, and I did this because the buyer bought so many of those from me at once. So I'm like, okay, they probably did this before, right? And this is in regards to items that you sell. So even as a clothing seller or whatever type of items you might sell, a buyer that's buying that item from you has probably bought that item or something similar from other sellers as well. And so what you can do is you want to see what those other sellers are selling instead of trying to like search eBay. This is a way you can snipe items, or where you can find some good wholesale deals on eBay if you do this frequently enough. So anyway, so look at the other sellers' names that this buyer has purchased from. Makeup and gift shop, right? Helly Boutique. Now, if I just click on some of these and go to them, right, you can kind of go through their stores and see what they're selling and stuff like that. Sometimes, man, you find really, really good deals. And this is where I found, honestly, a couple of wholesalers that they sell on eBay as well as other platforms. And despite me like searching certain items and stuff, I never found these wholesalers until I started doing this through other buyers' purchases from my store and going through their buyer list. So like, look at this. Let me go to, what was that one I was looking at? Is it cookies? So like somebody like this, right? A lot of times when you see multi-quantity listings like this, these people definitely buying pallets for sure, right? They could be buying truckloads, who knows? They probably buying pallets at least. A lot of times you can go through these types of stores. I mean, heck, even if you're just looking for something for yourself, you can probably find some good deals. But if you're another seller like myself, you can a lot of times find stuff that sells cheaper, or you can get it cheaper here as a lot and resell it either on eBay. But what I've been doing is I've been reselling it on Amazon and Walmart. So I'll find stuff on here that's like a lot of 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, whatever, right? And because it's sold as a lot, it's a lot of times a single item is selling on another platform for the same amount or close to it that the whole lot is selling for. So after one, maybe no more than 2 items sell on the other platform, I already got my money back, and the rest of the items are pure profit. And look, I'm sharing this with y'all. This is like trade secrets here, man. So look, you're gonna have to give me a like or something, because this is valuable information, bro. Valuable information. And if you use this right and do this on a consistent basis, I'm guaranteeing you're gonna find some really good sources to flip items either back on eBay or on Amazon and Walmart. Honestly, I ain't been using it to flip items on eBay. I've been using it to flip items on Amazon and Walmart. Other than the fact when I found like the other wholesalers, then of course I'll just buy pallets from them and stuff. But yeah, I'll go through this buyer seller list. But you can see like the names are pretty much the same. So this buyer been purchasing from pretty much the same type of people, right? Or the same type of sellers, right? Let's go to this one. Little nugget sale, right? And you never know what you might find, man. You never know what you might find. So look, I don't know if y'all realize how valuable what I just showed you was. Now maybe somebody out there did this already before me. I'm not saying I'm the first one that ever did this. That's not what I'm saying, okay? Not saying that. What I'm saying is, I never seen nobody talk about it. But look, it ain't like it's gonna hurt me to tell y'all this for real. But I do think I deserve at least a like and probably a sub for this little bit of information. Because if you do this on a daily basis, you're gonna find some good deals that you can snipe. I don't care what category you sell in, and you might find some good sources that you can build some business relationship with. Like the one business that I found that I actually order pallets and stuff from. I did some test purchases, right? So I did that. I started going through one of these other buyers' seller list. I came across some of their listings. I'm like, oh, well, shit, they got a lot of stuff on here, right? So then I made some smaller test purchases. Then I probably did 3 purchases just to see the quality of the product and things like that. Then finally, I'm like, I emailed them or I messaged them through eBay, and I'm like, hey, I'm just curious, do you have higher quantities, so on and so forth. Now, in this seller, you can tell they've been on eBay a minute and they kind of smart. They actually got my contact number and called me. I don't know if I should be telling y'all all this, but either way, they found a way to get my contact number and contacted me, right? And from that contact, I built a relationship with them that is actually a very good one, and it's been a very profitable relationship. So I'm not advocating you guys go outside of eBay's TOS. Just letting you know that somehow that seller got hold of my contact info and contacted me, and we made some business relationships that had nothing to do with eBay. Absolutely nothing to do with eBay. All my purchases from them on eBay was done through eBay the way it's supposed to be done. So there was no like eBay stuff that I bought from them that we kind of circumvented the eBay system with. None of that happened. But look, try it out. It's a really, this is a trade secret, man. This is the secret sauce. But no, I need that like and that sub though for this info, all right? But look, that's all I got for y'all today, man. That's all I got. eBay's upgrading the app. I think that's a good thing for some of y'all that maybe don't have access to a desktop. Now you got more options to make your listings and to do some of the things that you can do on the desktop. And also, now you know a way that you can find some items. I think that's easier than like searching specific types of items, even, because then you got to go through all the listings, and maybe then you got to click on the listings, look at that one, right? And then look at that seller and look at that seller store. Where this, basically, that buyer is giving me a lead list. That's what that is. That buyer is providing me a lead list. And any buyer that comes to my store who buys multi-quantities, or if I feel like by their purchase they're kind of buying my stuff to resell it, that's a free lead list. That's all that is a free lead list, and I use it to my advantage. All right, so look, I'm out for now, man. I'm gonna drop another video for y'all later on in the week, so make sure you stay tuned, hit that notification bell so that you're notified when that video does upload. Okay.